Welcome back. Welcome to season 2 of the Marketing Made Inclusive podcast. I'm so excited to be back, and I just wanted to do a quick episode kind of saying that, things have changed and we've learned a lot. Season 1 was our first time producing, my first time running slash hosting a podcast. And there were so many things I learned in that time period, and I can't wait to implement it on season 2. Now, season 2, I've got some exciting updates. It's going to be weekly, officially weekly. We're not going to do ad hoc things. I've definitely learned a lot about time management when it comes to podcasting. And we're still doing video and audio. So if you haven't checked out our YouTube channel, you can search for Marketing Made Inclusive Podcast or search for me on YouTube, Joanne Boyce, and you'll be able to see as well as hear everything that happens on the podcast. So a new episode will be out every Tuesday. In this season 2, we are going to start diving a little bit deeper into the areas of inclusive marketing, and we want to make sure it's practical. So in between our interviews and our conversations with marketeers and designers and just people that I love to talk to about inclusive marketing, we're going to have mini-sodes around the practical things you can do to make your marketing more inclusive. And even more so in season 2, we want to hear from you, the listeners. We want to know the challenges you're having with marketing and how you're trying to implement that inclusivity within your work. It can be anything. It can be from, trying to find diverse stock photos. It can be trying to find a diverse range of influencers. We want to make sure we're answering the questions that help you in the day-to-day of your job. Now, all of these things are coming out in season 2, and I'm excited for you to hear all of it. However, while we were on the break, I had the pleasure of recording a reaction podcast with Matthew from And Humanity, who you haven't met, but I'm sure we'll have him on the podcast, and Sonia, who you have met on her podcast, Inclusion and Marketing. In that episode, we dived into some of the mishaps and some of my favorites that you've heard me talk about, like the Sainsbury's campaign, B&Q putting questionable content in their background imagery, the Barbie marketing, how BuzzFeed messed up the Barbie marketing, and all the marketing around Oppenheimer and like the background. There was so much that we spoke about. I really enjoyed it because I just love hearing different perspectives, and I don't know any other podcast or any other episode you can hear a perspective from a British, a Canadian, and an American all on one episode and in 3 different time zones with a wide variety of perspective, but all coming to inclusive marketing with their lived experience and their knowledge. So make sure you check that out. The other thing I wanted to update you on was Include AI. If you haven't already heard, we are building a software called Include AI, which is going to help marketers create more inclusive content from imagery, language, and all of the above. All of the things that we're teaching, we're implementing, and we want to make sure it's part of that software to help make inclusive marketing as practical as possible. Now, for the listeners, we want to make sure you're the first ones that get to give us feedback and really get to get your hands on Include AI. So sign up to our mailing list. I'm going to find a way to make sure we know that you are a podcast listener who's signed up, and we'll give you special access. It hasn't gone live yet as of recording and releasing this episode, but definitely make sure you sign up and let us know you're coming from the podcast. So we're back, season 2 of Marketing Made Inclusive. Thank you so much for joining me, and I look forward to sharing all these amazing episodes with you. I am Joanne Boyce. You can find me on all social networks at Joanne Boyce. That's Joyann BOYCE. All the things I have mentioned will be linked in the show notes, and tune in next week to hear all things inclusive marketing.